Welcome to Romantic Wednesdays with Poetry. I'm Alisa Agnes, your host, and I believe it's time to get real and spill some tea or coffee. Okay, so today we will talk about two next romantic poems, and they come from the first cycle of the second volume. Students' Notes, Open Eyes, and the first cycle is called Romantic Summer, because it was the summer before I started my studies, and today I will talk about what is love and why. So, the first poem is very romantic, but in such a more tragic way, because it's about love that makes you want to die, and it's about literally asking to be killed, and it's about guns, and it's romantic because it reminds me of The Sorrows of Young Werther by Goethe. I didn't know this book in 2017 because I learned more about this book, and I read it in 2019, so 2 years after that. But guns are very romantic, and you can find this theme in so many places. So it's hard for me to say where this thing comes from. What actually inspired me this way. But yep, it's something romantic, and now you know what to expect. So let me read you this poem. It's quite long. Yeah. What is love? Who has a gun? Please shoot me down. I can be in love with a liar and cheater. Numb heart full of alarming peace, stains of black tears on my sleeve. Who has a gun? Please shoot me down. I can be in love with a liar and cheater. This love was like a letter that was never handed. Who has a gun? Please shoot me down. I can be in love with a liar and cheater. This world is full of suffering. Even things without a soul can hurt you. Who has a gun? Please shoot me down. I can be in love with a liar and cheater. But in love, and you'll be completely defenseless, like you've never known. Yep, so this is the poem, What is Love? Because love is something that should make you feel like you're flying, and it should make you feel alive in such a good way. And this poem is just like you wish you were dead. So this is why you start to wonder, where's love then? If it's such a terrible place sometimes. And well, I remember I also was going through some tough times, and I probably just had a really bad day, and I felt like everything literally was against me, and it was like whatever I touch, it can also hurt me. And it's about, for example, a piece of paper that can cut you. So imagine your heart is broken and such things happen, that you literally just bleed, and it's because of things that doesn't have a soul. And I remember that such a real thing inspired this poem. And also it's about I guess telling others that sometimes love leaves you defenseless, and there are so many such situations that can make you feel in a similar way, but love is something that will always be the strongest thing that can make you defenseless. Yep. So as you can see, it's a really tough situation and a really tough kind of poem and feelings. And to be honest, when I read this poem right before recording this podcast episode, I felt like, I'm a little ashamed right now, because I guess I'm not the same person as I was 7 years ago. And I just, I feel like I wouldn't write such a poem again. So, yep, I guess it's all that I can say about this today. Okay, so right now let's move on to the second poem. It's called Why. And I can tell you right now that it's a completely different kind of vibe, because it's not about love, but it's, it's philosophical, like some of those poems from the first volume. So it's just about asking questions, and you always wonder, like, why? And that's why this poem is called Why. So this is why. Why has words changed so much? Why it can't be as it was 2 years ago? Why people are using uncensored words so willingly? Why? Why people care about things that ain't their business? Why the old harmony has fallen to the ground? Why can't you have your principles? Why everything's so different? Why people want me to fit in? Why can't I wear a heart on my sleeve? Why it's not as good as it was? Why? So many questions I have for you, no answers. What's getting stranger? Why? Reality's getting more tangled. The more it is this way, the pinker my glasses are getting. Why? So yep, that's why. So at first I need to tell you that we have a line that can make you think of a song by Camila Cabello. So many questions I have for you. I mean, it was 2017 when this song came out, and I really loved this song. And I could really relate, and that's why I decided to, kind of connect with this song in this poem. It's it's a very, I think, clear kind of reference. And well, as I've already said, it's about asking so many questions, and it's not totally about love. It's just, about life, I guess, because sometimes, we wonder why everything changes, and sometimes we don't want to see changes because sometimes they are not as good as we wish they were, and sometimes we just feel nostalgic and we wish those older times were still here. And not long ago, Taylor Swift's song came out, I Hate Her Here, and I guess it's the same situation, in this song and in this poem. and 2017 was the year when I graduated from high school, and I started my literally studies. But I always loved Romanticism and 19th century, and my studies only opened my eyes for this epoch, and I've learned more, and I even fell in love with this time in culture, and and right now I just look at this poem and think about all those things that I think part of me already knew and kind of felt, because in high school I was attending 4 classes of extended Polish and my class was a humanistic kind of class, so I guess it was some kind of opener for my future life, and that's why I started to ask myself such questions. What more can I say? I don't remember actually what inspired me. I don't recall anything, but I remember that everything started to getting better actually, in high school, but when I graduated, I also started to realize we were treated as children in high school, even though I was 19, and in that period of time, I worked as a teacher, English teacher in the kindergarten, and later I started my studies, and there we started to be treated as adults, and it was so strange because it was just a few months, and this is the only situation that I can recall right now about this change. It was just strange because it's just about how people treat young people. And one more thing that I can tell you is, when things are getting really, really tough, sometimes we escape to imaginary kind of places. And I guess this is what the last sentence of this poem is about. And I keep asking why, and it's just meant to make you wonder why. And it's this kind of poem that I think I can't tell you more about, because it's just meant to to make you think and reflect on all these things that I mentioned here. Yep. So I guess it's all today. So I guess it's time to tell you what will happen in the next episode. I mean, in the episode where I talk about poetry. I mean that I may talk about the song in the next week, but I won't tell you, because I think I want to make these bonus episodes a big surprise for you. Like, you can't expect when these episodes will be coming out, but always once a month. Yep. So as I've already said, right now I like to tell you what will happen in the next episode of this main stream. So the first poem is called Ice, Glass and Hate. I love this poem. It's so romantic and so poetic and so beautiful. And even though it's a really sad kind of poem, but I think it just is made of all those images that are probably the best representation of my poetry. And the second poem is called There's No Hate, Only a Regret. And it's a funny story because I wrote this poem after years during the process of compiling this whole book. And when I read the previous poem, Ice, Glass and Hate, I just felt like there's no hate, only a regret. So I wrote such a poem which, was about the same thing, but I reflect on the same situation after a few years. Yep. So, right now you know everything, so I can only tell you until the next time. Yep. Bye!